Hello everybody, it's Leanne Greff with Tuesday's Facebook Live. You may be watching it live or maybe you're watching it later when I upload it to my YouTube channel. So either way, don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel so you don't miss anything. Okay, I have a lot to share. It's exciting news that next week we will know the color change. They're refreshing our colors. So we are going to lose some of our current colors and we are going to gain some new ones. Now we always lose the in colors, at least 1 year of the in colors. So this year we're losing a beautiful bunch with the fresh freesia, soft succulent, polished pink. Let's see, I didn't write these down. The evergreen and pale papaya. So beautiful array of colors that we are losing. I hope we get a few of them back in the regular color line, maybe some subtles or some neutrals, regals. We'll see if we get them. The number one pick for me is soft succulent. I want that back. I keep saying, well, we can say goodbye to mint macaron and bring back soft succulent. I think that would be a good trade. I'm going to be posting a little game asking you what colors you'd like to say goodbye to or see new. So that'll probably be on my Fun Friday. So we'll see about that, see what you think of what we need. Start thinking about that. What colors would you like to see come back or arrive? Either way, we're going to get some of our former colors back. We know Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon are coming back for sure, though. So that's why we kind of had a hint that there's a color refresh, but it's for sure. We will know March 29th. That is the date for demonstrators to know, and then we will all post it, so you will know too. Okay, so last week's door prizes were these fun fold cards. I know I've had people ask about this bookmark card, and actually it is just an extra folded piece of cardstock. So it kind of ends right here and here. So depending on how wide you want your bookmark card, you just need to make a fold over, and it's just added to the front of this card. It's not any fancy fold really. It's just a fold over and then an angle cut in the front with a little knot on the top so you can pull out your bookmark. So that's as simple as that one is. So the winner of, well, first I'll show what the other prize is. The gold swirl gems and some twine with a few dimensionals in here. So the winners of these, so the person who shared is Judith Carr, and the person who commented is Peggy Barth. I don't know if they're on yet, but those are the winners for these prizes. So every week I do some prizes. So yeah, help me get the word out on my videos. I'd love to see more followers on my Facebook page. And the prize for this week video for sharing is the At the Pond Host stamp set from the spring catalog. And then the prize for commenting, I don't know if I can get it out of here, but I have it in a baggie. We have a paper share. So this is some specialty papers. These are some of our holiday papers that I had extra of that I was giving away a few months back. So this is a paper share with specialty papers in there. So that's for commenting. This is for sharing. So like I said, help me get the word out. If you enjoy my videos, I appreciate you share on your page or another crafting, stamping group that you're in. So thank you very much. I will move on and get to online exclusives. So here's a flyer showing all the new online exclusives this month. Now remember, these will not be in any publication. These are only available to see online. You can order them in any way, whether you're a demonstrator or a customer. They can all be ordered in any way, but they are only seen online. They brought back a couple circle punches. However, they're gone, out of stock until, I wrote it down, mid-April. The other thing that is gone is the Irresistible Bloom dies. Those are out of stock until I think it's mid-April. April. And the loose frosted dots are May. And I think everything else is of, oh no, the 3D embossing folders. Those are also gone until May. So these, like I've said before, they are online only. When they run out, they may order more and they may just be gone. They're not giving us any hints. They're saying that this is the first time they've done this. Online exclusives. They're going to be releasing this type of thing 3 times a year. So it's pretty exciting to get new products. That way they can keep up with trends, offer something new that is not in the catalogs, that is actually exciting and fun. But it's going to depend on how they sell, whether they offer them or order more, or whether they are just done. So that's how that's going to be. And I'm going to focus on 3 of them today during my live. So before I move on, I will talk about stylish shapes. Let's see, items that are unavailable right now. Stylish shapes are one of them. Those dies are in the annual catalog. They're coming back, I think April. Let's see, Country Bouquet Punch coming back in April. The Easter Bunny Punch coming back in May. Let's see, lots and lots of ink pads and designer paper from the annual catalog are low or out of stock. No, low inventory, not gone yet. I don't know what that means as far as why there's so many. I know the designer paper is going away. In fact, one of them that I'm using today is the Sun Prints. I think I'm using this pattern right here. So that low inventory, it'll be out of stock soon, maybe even before the retired list comes out next Wednesday. So the other one I'm using is the Pretty Prints. I love these so much. They're so great to use for classes or projects because you get so many sheets of the same colors, but just slightly different. So you'll see those in a little bit. Now, if you didn't catch last week's video, these are the projects that I shared, and those are using the, let's see, decorative label stamp sets. So those, I did some, I promised you I would share the baby wipe technique, and I'm going to do that. So those flowers are from the baby wipe technique. This was my first card with the baby wipe pot flowers that I did using Sentimental Park, I think, is that, and I forget where the flowers are from, the name of the stamp set. But, so that was my inspiration to get going on baby wipe, and I have a bunch of swaps to share with you at the end of the video showing our team swaps, all featuring ink refill techniques. So that was our swap challenge. And oh, are you starting to get the snow? I heard we might get 3 to 5 inches this tonight. So, oh, great, crazy. We are so done with winter here. It's supposed to be spring as of what, yesterday? Like, let's have some spring and no more snow. It's just nuts here. Okay, so the first project I'm going to share features the Elegant Border dies. And these were out of stock for a short time, and I thought, oh, it's going to be forever, but they're back. So get them while you can. These are the Elegant Border dies. They are an online exclusive, so they do some neat things, and I'm going to show what we did. Now, the cards that I'm making today, we made at my team meeting on Saturday. So I just cut out an extra set, and we're going to make them right here with you. Okay, so there is that. Get my pieces out. Hopefully I got everything. Okay, set this aside. Like I said, I'm using Pretty Prints. So this is I'm using coral for this first card. And here is the card. So if you go to the Elegant Borders Dies online, there's a card similar to this where it did the double border and designer paper underneath and florals. And I just changed it up and used the florals and the greeting that I wanted to do. So very easy to case. And here is what I did with the envelope. So what do you think? Isn't that beautiful? Who wouldn't want to get that card that matches with that envelope? So I thought it was gorgeous. So this is Calypso Coral. The other colors are Petal Pink, Soft Succulent, and Poppy Parade. So I'm going to show you how I ran this class for my team members. So there's the measurements and the stamp sets I used. So actually this is the bundle. So I cut out the flowers first. You'll see why. There's the two-tone flora. And then the greeting is from the Charming Sentiments. One of my favorite greetings is because it goes with everything. This could be a birthday, thank you, anniversary, just a thinking of you, wishing you everything wonderful. I just love it. Okay, all right. So we are, there's this, here, there's my greeting. We'll start with that and get the greeting done. Okay, all right, we'll ink that up. I think I remember that my ink was getting a little bit light, so we'll see how this stamps. I'm going to huff on it. Just stamp it at the bottom. Not too bad. Okay. Now we'll set that aside and, well, actually I can start putting this together. So what I do when I just have strips like this or edges, why use the whole designer paper when you can add just a strip? Nobody else knows what's under there, just you. Okay, all right. Just adhere that to the bottom of the card. These are, I think they're 1 inch. You can get a lot of designer paper use out of a card like this. Hello everybody, thank you so much for letting me be a part of your day today. I hope I inspire you to get some stamps out and create something. Sometimes I tell people that you almost, if you have trouble getting it in and going, almost need to just set a date. Just set a date and write it on your calendar. If you just don't get time, that's the only way you're going to do it. Pretend it's laundry or something like that. Now I'm going to do the inside and put that stamp set back in. So these two pieces or stamps right here are what I'm doing. Okay, the lightest one is in Petal Pink. I'm just going to do a little something to make this pretty. And then this is in Calypso Coral. And these are really close in how they line up. So you can flip them both ways, but only one. And of course I have to check. And I'm looking for the dot, the center. So it's really hard to see. I almost have to get my head right into the camera and it's reflecting, sorry. And I am not seeing it, so I don't know which way it is. Something is preventing me from seeing my little dots. So I'm just gonna have to wing it. A little bit off, but not too bad. I'm okay with that. Okay, yeah, that's weird. I could not tell. Usually I don't have any trouble, but today I did. Okay, we are going to add that to the center inside of our card. You can see that I don't add my adhesive too close to the edge. It doesn't matter. It's not going to catch on anything, but it won't ooze out if you don't put it so close to the edge. If you have trouble with oozing and the glue, don't put it right next to the edge when you add your inside. Okay, now we're going to get to, I'm going to set that up there to the Stamparatus. Okay. And I always like to have some support for my plates. All right, so we will find the matches and so what I do when I do a class like this for multiple people, I cut out one nice one with some room to add to adhere it. And then I cut a whole bunch of these pieces out of scraps. I don't have to get it, have a nice big pieces. I can use strips like this and kind of cut them easily without worrying. Get my soft succulent for the leaves, and you just have to make sure that you insert them in the window. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to leave that in because I have the outline die to do. This was a little bit off, and I need to do one more of those. Wonder why it was off, if it got moved or what, but it's close enough. Well, sometimes what I do is I trim them. Just gonna kind of peek. Yeah, it's still off. Hold on, let me see if I can fix that. Sometimes I can kind of take a peek. Nope, it does have to totally be moved. Oh, I bet I know what happened. See how that was moved? Sometimes they just move. No, this isn't right. Sometimes things move and it just doesn't go as well as it could. So we'll see if I can fix that. But it is still my favorite way to do die cuts for a class. Yeah, I think that's better. So now I need Poppy Parade. No, I'm sorry. Calypso Coral for this upper one. You can see that. Okay. So the upper one, that's the best thing about using the Stamparatus, is that it allows you to do multiples at a time. So I'm going to huff on that. See if I did better on this one. Oh, it's perfect. Okay, so this one is done. And then you just take your chamois and wipe them to get them clean. All right, then we have two more to do. So, like I said, this is just the best way to do. Let me see how I have that. Okay, like this, to do these. All right, first we have to insert, and yeah, there's a little bit of figuring things out as far as inserting them in your windows. But once you do, you've got it. And you can just do multiples. So just cut out a whole bunch of plain ones without worrying about how they're placed. And they do tend to stick, but that's the nice thing about having these like windows. Okay. Then we're going to do, and I think I was supposed to do Calypso Coral. That one's not as dark as I think it should be. Forgot to do the Poppy Parade on that one, but it'll be fine. It doesn't have to be exactly like the first one. So perfectly placed. And we're done. And just think how many you could do at a time. If you are doing for a class or for a swap or making multiples, you could get a whole lot done. Okay, done with the Stamparatus and all the stamping, and I didn't have to worry as much about getting it so precise and fiddling with it on my die cutting machine, because that's where it gets a little tricky. You know how things move after you get them on your machine. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, and I wouldn't normally do this on video, but I can't add this when it's this off. So I'm just going to trim. And yeah, I could just do it over, but I didn't bring another die cut to do it over. So I'm just going to trim a little bit on the noticeable areas. There's usually a fix, right? And maybe I will just let this peek out, do it a little bit differently than the other one. Just do a little bit more. You can see how my scissors is staying in the same area, but I'm moving the die cut quite a bit. Okay. All right, so to create this card, I think this one will go at the top. And I should have done this first, but I like to give the leaves a little bit of life. So just bend them slightly. Add that there. And then this one, again, before I glue this time, give the leaves just a little bit of life by bending them up a touch with my fingers. And I'm just following that card. Once you have one done, you kind of know what you're doing. Okay, yeah, these are pretty much the same. I should have, I still could, but I'm not going to. I should have used, this one was Calypso Coral on the solid, and the outline was Poppy Parade. So I just didn't remember that. And again, just even on the flowers, I'm gonna give these petals just a little bit more life. I don't know if there's another word for it, but okay. And we'll bring in some dimensionals for these. Okay, and I didn't add any any embellishments. I just kept it clean. Okay, what do you think? How easy is that? And a beautiful envelope to match. So yeah, I love it. I love it. So what I might do is add some darker centers to this with a marker and just some little dots, because this is a little more one note. I kind of like that bright or dark flower on that one. But that is featuring the Elegant Border dies. Love them. Okay, got my inks put away. And the next card, you're gonna love this one. I promised you last week that I would share baby white. So we're gonna do a baby white card. And I am featuring the Tropical Leaf bundle. And this is another online exclusive. Now you can get them separately. I have a feeling this leaf punch is gonna go fast. You like all the same color flowers, Linda? Well, that's good, thank you. Okay. All right, let me get some of my mess put away here. And, all right, the card. Now this card was totally inspired by my friend Susie Wood. So she created a shaker card using this, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna do that, but I wanted to use baby wipe on mine. She used, I think, Shaded Spruce with the Parakeet Party, and I chose to use Bermuda Bay with Parakeet Party, a little tiny bit of Granny Apple Green. So have you made a shaker card with a clear envelope before? They are the easiest shaker cards you can do. They're so fun. Let's start with, I'm trying to find my packet, here we go. Okay, and this time I'm using a piece of the same Pretty Prince, and I'm going to set the rest of that away. So what you do, this is a standard 4" by 5 1/4 piece of designer paper. So you put that in your clear envelope. So now because these clear envelopes fit a full-size card, you have to fold this back. So to fold that back, I prefer to use tear and tape. So I'm going to add the tear and tape. It's just so easy, and it holds so well. Now you can just use adhesive if you want to. Okay, so then you just kind of burnish the ends, and it's super easy to peel off the excess. Now you want this designer paper to be well into the corner of the far corner here. Then you just fold this over. Okay, now I have a nice 3-sided shaker. Now I have to worry about this end. But first, we're going to add some embellishments. So here, these embellishments are, this is the Sparkle and Shine sequence, and these are the For Everything sequence. And there is a 3-pack of these in the For Everything. These are both in the annual catalog. There's a pink and a blue in this. You get 3 containers of For Everything sequence. So I'm just going to hold this open, grab some, maybe a couple little pinches, and then another pinch of these silver and white ones, maybe 2. I'll try and get them off because they're kind of staticky. Let's see, that the right one? Yes. Don't want to have an accident with that. Okay, so now you have all those in there, and basically you can just tear off. This is our Stampin' Up! Clear envelopes now. Tear that off and burp it, no air, and then fold this over nice and tightly and seal. And now you have your shaker element, okay? So it's just, and I could have even added more. But, so the neat thing about the card though is these elements are on top. So you see it on the edges, but this is the touch and feel. It still feels like a real card because it's not all plastic everywhere. So, yeah, these clear envelope shakers are just super fun. Okay, so I have these layers, and this one I textured with one of the 3D Basics embossing folders. Now this is out of stock. So we'll have to wait, I think, until May for this to come back. So unfortunately, if you don't have them yet, I guess you'll have to wait, but they are coming back, so that's the good thing. Then I have a strip for the hello. Now this is totally my friend Susie Wood's design. I just changed up the colors and added baby wipe, but, oh gosh, I took my Bermuda Bay, oh there it is, I see it. And I know what I did. I think I took all of my stamps off my blocks because I forgot I was going to do them for the video. So now I have to grab these. Oh wait, I have the big one, but not the small one. And the hello. There's been some super cute cards done with this. Now I don't know where my big leaf is. Am I going to be in trouble and not find it? Hold on a minute. Let me see if it's in this. It's not. Let me go over to my desk and see if I see it. Well, how weird is that? Oh, I found it. It was in my basket, just on its side. Okay. All right, we're ready to stamp. Those will be in baby wipe. This will be our greeting. I like this font a lot. How about you? What do you think? And the inside, I forgot to get that out. Thanks so much. Somebody will get this as a thank you card from me. Yeah, this font is a lot of fun, just so unique. I love it when we get something new and fun. Thanks for sharing, I appreciate that. Okay, all right, so to put this together, we'll wait with this piece. There we go. We want to add this right across here. Whenever I add anything to a textured element, I use the liquid glue because it holds so well. There is no guessing whether it's going to stick or not. Okay, so one thing, put that punch away. Hold on. I cleaned up too well after my classy this weekend. Okay, so this is the bow punch, one of my favorites, and we will punch out a leaf, and we will punch out a kind of a sprig. Okay, that's the bow punch. Love it. I hope it doesn't retire. One of my favorites for easy, quick leaves. All right, I'm going to just add a little adhesive to glue these together. Let that sit. And to add this, I thought I had to use tear and tape because it was plastic, but my team members used liquid glue and they said it held up very well. So I'm going to go with it because it's here and it's easy. Get that straight. Okay, and then our main card is Parakeet Party. So, and it's standard 5.5 by 8.5. Covering up my Okay, so that fits on there nicely. So you have that little bordered edge. I want this to hold very well, so I'm adding an extra bit since it's clear plastic. Looks a little crooked, but I don't think it is. Okay, all right, so that's ready. Now we get to do the fun thing, the baby wipe. So you can kind of see that it's just fun. You know, when you give somebody an interactive card, they will not throw it away. They will save it, I can guarantee you. Okay, I just have, I think these are dollar store, they're cheap, but somebody asked me if you can get them smooth, because a lot of the name brand have an imprint or a design on them, and that will end up showing up on your image when you stamp. So these cheap ones, even though they're very thin, you just have to create your own ink pad. So that's what I do, is just fold it over, and I tend to use paper plates because they're easy and throw away. Okay, let's get our ink colors out. So we've got Bermuda Bay, Granny Apple Green, and Parakeet Party. So when I'm doing the baby wipe technique, these are the pieces I'm going to stamp on. I tend to start with the dark, and I usually do 3 colors just for, I don't know, I think 2 would be fine as well, but I don't know, 3 is just my thing. And as far as picking your colors, I tend to pick colors that are in the same color family, I guess, not even family, blues and greens, oranges and yellows, purples and pinks, oranges and pinks, something that just tends to look good together. For example, like this card right here, I did Mango Melody with, I think it was Daffodil Delight and Polished Pink. So just colors that were similar but not so far away. Like I would never do, say, blue and brown or blue and red. You would just get mud, in my opinion. So this is Granny Apple, and I don't want as much of that because I noticed, ooh, and I'm out, because it got dark. The leaves got dark, and I didn't mind it, but I didn't want that much. So we're gonna have a little bit more of the parakeet, and I'm just squirting. I mean, I'm just filling in these empty spots. Now, what size to make your baby wipe? It's as big as your ink pad, I mean, your stamp. So my leaf is about that size, so that's how big I want it. I don't want to travel when I'm inking because that will just make mud on my stamp. So we're gonna start with the large one, and I'm going to tap, 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 just like you had an ink pad, multiple times in the same place. So you can kind of see how that is. I'm gonna do it a little bit more because I'm seeing a little bit of mottled area. And sometimes the first time you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this because a clean ink pad, the first time you ink it, it tends to be a little bit mottled. So the second time, hopefully, will fill in better. Oh, I'm not getting much on this side right here. Then you want to huff and stamp. Okay, pretty good. A little bit of empty area right over there. So then we're going to do one more. Same thing, tap up and down. And I'm gonna just rub off and do it again. Like I said, a clean stamp doesn't always stamp as well as an inked one. So then you just do that. Beautiful. Love, love, love these colors. And we'll do it again for, you hear me huffing, for the inside of the card. Isn't that cool? I absolutely love to do baby wipe. It is so fun. So super fun. Okay, so this one has a punch. Unfortunately, it only has the large size of this leaf. Oh, I forgot to stamp the inside. Hold on, there are inside images as well. So let me take this off, put that one on there, this off. I'll just lay them on there for now. So there are veins to go with these right here. And that is in Bermuda. It's very subtle. You almost can't see them, but it's still worth doing. And I could have punched first. It really wouldn't matter. But yeah, you can see the veins, right? And then the small leaf. It's just a fun set. Let me have my stamps on there so I don't lose them while I took them off the block. Okay. All right. So we're done stamping. What do you think of the colors? Do you guys like blue greens as well as I do? It's probably my top favorite colors are blue greens. So that's why I purposely stamped with the bottom of this leaf at the bottom of my scrap and gave me a holding place so I could just insert it and punch. So you always want to look at how your punch is laid out before you stamp, so you know, so you're not fiddling and trying to figure out, well, gosh, it just won't go in. So it's a good reminder for you. Now this one I'm going to fussy cut. And it's pretty easy because it's smooth. No, I wouldn't have had to add this one. I could have added 2 big ones, but I kind of like the 2 sizes. It only takes, I don't know, 30 seconds to do this. I'm not really fussy about it. If all the edges aren't perfect, it's going, well, it's not going on white. A lot of times if it's going on white, it's like, well, who's going to see the edge? But today I guess it isn't. Okay, bring back our card. We can add the inside. You can see I don't get too close to the edge so it doesn't ooze out when I do my glue. This is Parakeet Party, nice and bright color green. It's quite a lime green, more than a yellow in my opinion. Okay, so that, and I'm just gonna give those, like I said, maybe a little curl. Could use, oh, guess I curled it too much. Well, I'm gonna fix that. Don't be quite so vigorous. Okay, it's gonna be here. Oh, there's always a fix. A tiny little bit of glue there. Who's gonna tell? Only you all will know. I can see a little hair there that could be pushed under. Not too bad. Okay, that's the fix. All right, this one's gonna go flat. Kind of off the, actually, oh, I glued that down. Off the paper a little bit. And this next leaf, I'll add a couple pop-ups on this one. There. Done. Aren't they cool cards? So fun to do. Yeah. Okay, so that's my shaker using the Tropical Leaf Bundle. Okay, the last card project uses a whole different stamp set that you may have looked at. Let me get my sheet over here. And it's using the Growth Takes Time. Now, I didn't get the Rhino Ready bundle yet. I may still do that, but I really love trees. As you know, that was my $1 million stamp set, was trees, so I knew I would like this. And the greetings are so, you know, kind of personal. They're kind of supportive and uplifting, and I just thought that that would be a fun set with these unusual, unique greetings. Okay, so we're going to use the Radiating Stitches dies. So that is what the dies look like. There are 1, 2, 3 rectangles and then 3 circles and a heart that are all stitched. So hopefully you can kind of see that. Okay, all right, so the project we're doing, I kept it super simple. This is Night of Navy with gray granite. Very, very simple card. Okay, so, oh gosh, and here I took these images off too. I thought I was ready. big tree on that block. I'm not going to do the inside, but I'm going to show you because I have to put all those on the blocks. But the greeting, I decided to use one from the same, the out front greeting, just for you. I wanted it a little broader for my team members who were here that were making the cards, so I didn't want to get quite as personal with those. Okay, all right, put that over here. And what I did was I actually did the die cut on this sun print. So can you see the little stitches? It's very subtle. And then I did another one on a layer. So this is Native Navy. And my bone folder. What you want to do with this is, and this is how I do ribbons. Get some of these pieces out of here. So I know that I'm going to wrap this ribbon around the bottom edge. So I add some tape runner to the back side and then hold this in the front, press, and making sure that it's even, and then press. And the reason you want to run your tape runner this way, not this way, because this way you're going to catch it no matter what, right? If you run your tape runner this way, if you go this way, you don't know quite where it's at. Okay, so we're going to add some liquid glue. I get a little bit closer to the corners here. So I thought this was really a soothing color combination of grays and navy. I sure hope we don't lose navy. Gray granite's not my favorite, but I do like it with navy. So now we're going to stamp our two. Oops, I just lost my other piece of ribbon. Hold on. Okay. Using navy ink, we'll start with the tree. I like to travel. Sometimes the center of your ink pad tends to get used the most. So I do like to travel when I ink. And hope to get this straight. Try not to rock too much, but press firmly. Okay. Then for the circle, and that is the same radiating stitches, dies, just for you. Okay, so done. Like I said, I'm not going to do the inside. You can see what I did. I did color the little heart with one of our, let's see, not neutrals. They're the blends, oh gosh, there's a set of 6, and I forget what they're called. They're not neutrals though. Okay, so for a little shadow, this is our gray granite light marker. And I'm just going to create a little shadow. Works very well under the tree. You can hardly even see it. It's so light. I think it might be running out, but in my case, that was great. And I didn't color anything on the tree. I decided not to, just to leave it alone. Okay, so we will add adhesive to this. I'm anxious to show you my team swaps with our ink refill techniques. They turned out so great. So you will just be blown away by their creativity. There's one that I haven't seen the technique since I used to do technique classes. It's been, I think I'm gonna do it next week. I'm gonna show you what it is. Okay, so when I do, you can either use, sometimes these don't work the best on ribbon, but here it goes. So we're going to fold that over. Then, I tend to use mini glue dots, but this is working pretty good. So add some adhesive to this and add a flag. Now we will add a dimensional. Just kind of cover up part of that trunk. Isn't that pretty? So there's the inside of the card. So I think it's just a really nice, easy card, that tree. And I love that there's a smaller one. Look how far you've come. Yeah, it's a neat set. Yes, your mom was in my technique classes, Susan. Yes, she was awesome. So talented. Okay, so just to recap, we'll show you in case you just joined, the cards that we made today are these. So these are all using new online exclusive products. Hope you enjoyed them. I think they're darn lovely. Okay, so next I'm going to show you our swaps. Okay, so these will all be on my blog. They'll be posted on my Facebook page as well, and on my newsletter. So if you are not following me on any of those, be sure you follow me on at least one. Different things on everything. So, okay, here is the swap I made, and this is using a baby swipe technique. I'll probably remake this card next week or something similar to it. Maybe I'll try different colors. But this is our Pearlescent designer or specialty paper in the annual catalog. It is very shimmery. After I took a baby wipe and rubbed my color on, I let it dry and textured it with one of the 3D embossing folders. I love this one. It's kind of like a crosshatch. And these are the delicate, dainty, it's in the spring catalog, the dies that were gone for so long. Now this is the same technique Candace did using our naturally gilded specialty paper. She used 3 colors and just went across it. This paper is kind of glossy, and I did one also with black and Coastal Cabana a few weeks ago where you can just rub ink right all over it, but she used a baby swipe technique. And then when you're done, it doesn't stick to the foil accents. Yeah, the cards are all so awesome, so wonderful. Okay, now this one is shaving cream. So Paula did this one, and she used Tahitian Tide, Orchid Oasis, and Parakeet Party. So she even die cut a few corner dies from the Fabulous Frames dies to add to this. So really colorful card. So another really cool card Brenda made. Now this is using the new Rhino Ready. Look at those trees. But her scene, so this die cut here is from a diorama die that's in the annual catalog. I hope it doesn't retire because they are super cool. But the trees and the rhino are all from the Rhino Ready bundle in the online exclusives. But she used the baby swipe technique as well and swiped 3 colors across her white cardstock underneath this layer that's also textured with that same. We all seem to love that 3D embossing folder that has that crosshatch type texture. But that's so cool. Let's see. So this one was done with watercolor, our water painter. And so I'm showing Katie, you just joined us. We're using, these are swaps from my team using ink refill techniques. So she used a water painter and colored on watercolor paper. Now yesterday I posted this on my blog, and this one I gave you some good tips on how to do the shaving cream technique and the water painting or watercoloring techniques. So be sure you catch my blog post yesterday for these two. Now, today I shared this one. This one is done by Marla. She used the baby wipe technique where you, just like I did today, make an ink pad, add your reinkers, and use it as an ink pad. Take a baby wipe, add your reinkers, and use it as an ink pad. So this is using the Much Love bundle, I believe it's called. This is the other card I shared today. Oh, I'm going to forget what the name of this bundle is. It's in the annual catalog, and she uses the painted texture embossing folder on that. I think her colors are balmy blue with native navy, maybe. So I'm pretty sure that's what she used. And then lastly, this is the one that I think I'm going to share next week, is the string art technique. Sharon made this one, and you basically dip string in reinker and use a phone book to do 2 at a time. So this is string art technique. Isn't that awesome? So those are our swaps with Reinker Techniques that we just had last weekend. We had that. So yeah, we love to do themed swaps, and this was the theme this time, was to use Reinkers. All right, I think that's it. I do have some kits left, a couple left of the Rain or Shine, a couple of the Hello Irresistible. Luckily, the Hello Irresistible designer paper is back in stock, so we can get that now. So my kit should be on time, mailed out at the end of March as usual. So there's a few other ones from last month and a month before that are still available. And if you order more than one, you get to combine shipping. So yeah, thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next Tuesday for next week's live. All right, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel while you're watching, if you watch on YouTube. And all right, and don't forget also to share and comment so you get in on the prize drawing by next Tuesday morning. All right, thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate you. Take care. Have a great week. Bye-bye.